price of groceries could drop for one community in northern Colorado to help some families make ends meet. Next month, voters in Loveland will decide whether or not they want to eliminate sales tax on foods consumed at home.
But the city is warning this drop in prices in the checkout line could cost you elsewhere. Our northern Colorado reporter Dylan Thomas is live tonight. He's in Loveland. And Dylan, this tax brings in a lot of money every year.
Alan, to the tune of around $11 million a year, which is about 16% of the city's annual sales tax revenue income. Those who support the measure say this will ultimately help low-income residents here in the city of Loveland, but the city warns that making such a cut would actually come at a cost to public services.
There's a lot of folks that have a hard time keeping up with the cost of living, and any little bit that helps.
Which is why George Garklives, a Loveland resident, is voting in favor of Proposition 300, a Loveland ballot measure that would eliminate the 3% sales tax on groceries for home consumption.
It was an ethical thing. It is a regressive tax. It hurts people at the lower income levels much more than other folks.
Loveland wouldn't be the first city to not tax those goods, but their budget would take a significant hit if approved.
We're able to forecast a $10.5 million revenue reduction in 2024 if we were to make that exclusion.
Brian Waldy, CFO for Loveland, says the city is already preparing to make cuts to services if voters approve this.
That kind of revenue reduction would have a big impact on our general fund. It would necessitate changes to our operational programs, our capital programs, or both. Because again, we are very much in a break-even position in the general fund.
The measure would prevent the government from ever creating another tax on such goods.
The response from the public has been so positive and overwhelming for this initiative that I have really strong hopes that it'll pass quite easily.
Waldy said the city hopes not to impact funding for public safety, but
if we try to mitigate the impacts to public safety, there will be more impacts elsewhere.
Supporters say that the money saved by the consumer wouldn't just be put in a piggy bank, it would be spent elsewhere. In a pamphlet made for voters, the city warned that there could be cuts that would impact things like worse roads. Training for first responders may be cut, library services might even be cut, and get this, they say even your pickleball courts might deteriorate faster. For more information on that pamphlet, we'll be posting on our website, cbscolorado.com.
All right, Dylan.
Reporting live in Loveland, Dylan Thomas, covering Colorado First.
Thanks, Dylan, very much. Dylan really does cover stories happening in communities across northern Colorado. Recently, he's been in Estes Park, Fort Collins, Windsor, and today, Loveland. If you have a story idea for him, you can reach out through cbscolorado.com.